lo máximo este grado. Listo.
So my name is Neil Patel. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm the co-founder of NP Digital. We're a global ad agency, and we also have offices here in Spain. So that's why I'm here.
I would like to know why Spain? Why have you landed in the Spanish market with NP Digital?
Other than it being a beautiful country,
Thank you.
The people are very talented and smart. It's a very important hub for all of Europe. It has one of the most popular regions for tourism. Alcohol consumption here is very high as well. There's a good beverage market. But more so, the Spanish market here also influences Latin America heavily, and we're also in Latin America. If you want to be a global ad agency, you need to be in Spain. It's an amazing market and a lot of business is happening here. And if you see what happens in a lot of Latin America, a lot of that originates from Spain. And a lot of companies from Spain also then eventually migrate into the rest of Latin America too.
How would you describe, talking about digital marketing, the current state of the digital marketing nowadays?
So digital marketing nowadays is no longer, oh, to do well you need to be on Google, or oh, to do well you need to be on Facebook. It's actually shifted. To do well in today's market, you need to take an omni-channel approach and be on Google, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, email, push notifications, Snapchat, LinkedIn, X, but you also need to be on ChatGPT, Gemini, right? These AI platforms can recommend your products and services. People optimize for social media or for search, but they're not optimizing for AI yet, and they should be. To do well in today's market, you got to take a holistic approach, and the channels need to work together. That's how you win in today's environment.
Okay. That's going to be the next question, but before, I would like to know if you think that the Spanish market has something in terms of digital marketing that makes us special or different from the rest of the markets.
I don't think the Spanish market has anything that's really different or special. I'm not trying to say that the culture here and the people aren't special. They're amazing. But the web has evolved very fast. Technology has evolved very fast. Spain is not ahead of the US or behind. India, Brazil, all these countries, Mexico, they're not ahead or behind. Because whatever happens online or in the world gets published everywhere, and knowledge is available to anyone, no matter if you're rich or poor. All markets have adapted very fast. And what happens in any country, if people like it, they adapt it in the rest.
Okay.
And you've seen that people in Spain have adapted very fast.
Okay.
Neil, bueno, hello.
Hi, Javier.
Hi. Why Spain is an interest market for you and for the companies? Because we're a small market if you compare with, I don't know, United States or even UK. I think Spain could be the door to LATAM, but maybe it's not like this. Maybe Miami is more
That door.
Yeah.
I don't think there's one door to LATAM.
Okay.
I think Florida is Miami, but Florida in general is one entry point into LATAM. I think being in Brazil is another point, because if you're not in Brazil, you're missing the Portuguese market, which has a large population. I think Spain is another door. And if you look at Spain, you may say it's a small market, but I disagree with you, because there's a lot of global companies from Spain that are everywhere. Like, you guys got one of the biggest telecommunications company here, right? You guys have one of the biggest theme park companies here that is global. So there's a lot of businesses in Spain that operate not just in Spain, but they operate in the rest of the world.
Okay. What do you think we have to learn about the way of United States?
There's different mindsets. And you can learn from the US mindset, just like you can learn from the Spanish mindset.
Yes.
And I'll give you an example of this. In the US, when you do dinners at a restaurant, it's quick. You don't get to know the people as much, and you move on. Much more transactional. In the Spanish market, specifically Spain, People get to know each other more. They build deeper relationships. They take their time at dinners. And they may not go into business as quickly, may take much longer, but then they stay in business together much longer, right? The relationships go much deeper. Is the US way right or is the Spain way right? Neither one are right or wrong. There's different approaches. Spain doesn't need to adapt to what the US is doing, and the US doesn't need to adapt to what Spain is doing. Each market should do what's best for their people.
Okay.
And you can take the knowledge from one market and see if it's a good fit for another. But that doesn't mean you have to use it.
Okay. Thanks. You can continue.
Okay, so AI, is it really a game changer nowadays in digital marketing, or is it a bubble about to explode or something like that?
It's definitely not a bubble. It is definitely game changing in digital marketing. Most people look at AI as, oh, it can help me create content or images or videos. The real power of AI is not that. Most people look at AI as hot and sexy.
Okay.
I look at AI as you should use it for the boring and ugly in marketing. You can use it for the sexy stuff, but if you look at the majority of the revenue in marketing, it's from boring and ugly, right? Doing an ad during the World Cup is sexy. Doing an ad on Google is ugly. But if you look at Google and Facebook or Meta, they're much bigger than any traditional marketing and media company out there. It's because it produces a higher ROI. So with AI, you can do stuff like analyze data in real time and have the AI give people on the marketing team better data and also inform them on different things that are working and not working so the team can make quicker decisions. According to Bant, roughly 40% of the online spend, digital spend, is spent on bad marketing campaigns. Think about that. There's over $600 billion being spent on digital ads. So you're talking about a bit more than $240-ish billion is being wasted.
Yes.
AI can help with this. Maybe it won't get it down to zero, but if it can solve and save companies $100 billion a year out of that total spend, that's massive.
Absolutely, yeah.
I understand the sensibility that human who have to put in our creativity, of course, the creativity in advertising. But when we are talking about digital marketing, when we are talking about data, we are talking about programmatic, we are talking about ROI. I don't know what's the value of the human between the AI, because if you are talking about data, I mean, AI doing better than any human.
But it's not perfect. And I'll give you a great example of this.
Okay.
If you ran a Google ad today,
Yes.
and you started it, in the first few days or even weeks, it's not going to do as well because these platforms take time to learn. AI could tell you and analyze the data saying you're losing money on this campaign, you should shut it off. Well, you know as a human from your experience that if you're not giving it a month or so, you're not going to really know if it's working or not. It's not always black and white.
Okay.
AI can help create content, but a lot of the content that it creates, it scrapes the web, takes everything it learned, and then creates new content based off of that. You as a human can take stuff that you're seeing in this world that is happening in real time and create new content that's never been talked about or anyone's experienced before, and that's the kind of stuff that does really well. That's what resonates with people. No one wants to continually read or watch or read regurgitated information. That's AI's creating more of the regurgitated content versus what humans can. On Google, we were analyzing AI-written content versus human-written content, and during our analysis, we found that human-written content outranked AI content 94.12% of the time. You look at social media, people use AI to create content. Most of the AI content gets very little engagement, very little likes, very little shares, very little comments. It's the human content that is more authentic.
Yes, of course.
That has emotion, right? So AI is great, but it doesn't necessarily mean that AI is better than a human. And I'll give you another example. We ran a campaign experiment on Meta with ads with a little bit more than $7 million. humans were creating the creative, and then we had AI create the creative. The humans creative performed better than the AI. But then we took the winning variations of the human creatives and had AI create variations of it, and that actually outperformed the human version. What was the winner in that case? It wasn't humans, it wasn't AI, it was a combination of both. Don't look at AI as something that can replace. Don't look at AI as something that is useless. Look at AI combined with humans can help people and organizations do much better over time.
Which piece of advice would you give brands that maybe are listening to this interview in this ever-changing ecosystem, which now more than ever it seems essential to keep your feet on the ground with this thing of AI?
So you're saying, what would you recommend to brands to stay on top of it and up to date? Encourage everyone in your organization, no matter what department, even outside of marketing, uses the technology. B, make sure it's in a safe environment where you're not uploading all your data to the public. And C, recommend within your organization that people experiment and continually try new things. If people continue to try and leverage these platforms, they'll improve over time. It's not just about reading an article and doing what you're seeing with the AI based on what you read. It's about continually pushing the limits and trying new things. That's how you get better. It needs to be part of your daily workflow versus saying, oh, my boss told me to use AI. But when it becomes part of your daily workflow, you'll really learn how to use it to its maximum extent. On top of that, within the organization, every week, once a week, for an hour, different organizations should share cool things they've done with AI and how other people can do the same thing using that technology.
So let's change the topic. You usually talk about the importance of honesty, but in the digital ecosystem, programmatic advertising, it seems to cost little to deceive the consumer, but to make a lot of money. So how do you maintain that honesty or integrity in this context?
Yeah, you can be dishonest and you can make money, but that money will be short-lived. You won't make money for a long time. You're better off being honest, authentic, ethical. You may not make as much money in the short run, but in the long run, you should do better overall because you're doing what's best for consumers. Consumers are smart these days. With the web and how fast information spreads, if you do something dishonest, yeah, you make money, but you won't make it for long.
And information is like cheap and attention is like very expensive nowadays. So what techniques do you use to cut through the user and connect well with the people?
Oye, que bien hablas inglés.
Thank you so much.
I say to her, she speaks very good English.
So the way you cut through the noise and you really relate with the people, and the way is authenticity, but the way you become authentic is what I like calling lo-fi content. All right, so you take your phone, you record, people resonate with that really well. You create professional stuff in a studio that costs $500,000 for a commercial. People don't resonate with that as well. And what we're finding is to really build that relationships with the customer, no matter where they are, people want that authentic content from not just the personal side, but also the corporate side.
There are also many tools on the market to choose from. All of them seem to be the solution to all of our problems in digital ecosystems. So how to trust one or the other?
There's so many tools. A lot of them are good. What you need to do is just try a lot of them and see which ones work the best for your organization. But the bigger problem isn't which tools to trust, because there's a lot of good tools. The bigger problem is, do I even need this tool? And I say that because sometimes people use tools for all these different things, but they could have just done it manually and it would have been done 5 times faster. And people get overwhelmed with all these tools. And when you look at what results are the tool providing, some of them provide little to no results. So then why are you wasting your time even using it? You don't need 500 tools. You just need a few that work really well.
So if there's something that is committed in the digital landscape, it's failure, and the culture of trial and error seems to be like the guide for our work, right?
Yes, exactly. And if you're not doing trial and error, experimentation, you're only going to grow so much. You can't keep having success after success after success without having failures in between.
Okay.
And you get the failures through trial and error. You learn what doesn't work. You know what to avoid in the long run.
Okay. Neil, thanks to be here with us. I would like to play along with you.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Good luck, Neil. Thanks a lot.
Do I keep the microphone on?
Yes. Well, it's okay. Se lo puede quedar, ¿no? El micrófono. Sí.
Yeah, you can keep it.
Vamos a ir jugando. ¿Os ha gustado? ¿Sí? ¿Bien? Vale. ¿Les ha gustado?
Incisivos, nos ha gustado un Neil mucho.